Silence is not surrender, it is the ultimate weapon against the mind's most treacherous enemy. The explosive burst of your rage, the fiery instant when control vanishes, is precisely when true power becomes invisible. For the uninitiated, quietude in the face of provocation seems like weakness, a retreat from the fray, but for the one who understands, it is the strategic withdrawal that secures victory. This profound insight, practiced by emperors, is about to fundamentally alter your understanding of strength itself. In the coming moments, you will unlock the Stoic power of the pause, a precise and potent method that transforms raw, impulsive anger into a controlled and considered response. You will discover how this ancient principle, a cornerstone of Marcus Aurelius's own emotional mastery, can entirely reshape your perspective on conflict and empower you to navigate even the most infuriating situations with unwavering calm. No longer will you be a slave to the immediate rush of emotion. Instead, you will command your inner landscape, choosing stillness as your most formidable tool. Consider the life of a Roman emperor, a figure constantly assailed by plots, betrayals, and the sheer weight of governing an immense empire. Marcus Aurelius, in his personal writings, frequently grappled with the tumultuous inner world that such a position could ignite. He understood the destructive force of unbridled passion. It's not difficult to imagine a day when news would reach him of a rebellious general, a treacherous senator, or even a personal slight, news designed to trigger an immediate, fiery outburst. Yet, his philosophy dictated a different path. Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher and statesman who preceded Marcus, offered an invaluable antidote to this very human impulse. He wrote in his treatise on anger, a text Marcus undoubtedly knew well, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." Imagine the emperor, perhaps in his private study, the scrolls stacked high, a map of the vast empire spread before him. A messenger, breathless, delivers intelligence of a critical frontier garrison failing to hold its ground, jeopardizing months of strategic planning, maybe even endangering legions. The natural human response would be a furious shout, a demand for immediate, harsh retribution, a torrent of blame. But Marcus, grounded in Stoic wisdom, would not permit that initial, unexamined impression to take root. He wouldn't let the image of failure, betrayal, or incompetence immediately consume him. Instead, he would pause, a deliberate, almost imperceptible moment of stillness. He would allow the initial wave of indignation to break against the shore of his rational mind, dissipating its immediate power. This wasn't inaction, it was conscious non-reaction. It was the strategic deployment of mental space, a short circuit of the automatic emotional response. He understood that the most potent decisions are born not from the heat of the moment, but from a cool, clear assessment. This profound discipline transformed the chaos of the immediate impression into an opportunity for reasoned thought, turning a potentially destructive response into a measured, effective strategy. In our modern world, how often do we receive an infuriating email or a provoking social media comment and feel that same immediate surge, that same urge to retaliate instantly? That initial, visceral jolt you feel when confronted with injustice or insult or outright stupidity, that's the trigger. Before understanding the Stoic power of the pause, you might have felt that spark ignite, and within moments, a full-blown inferno raged. You typed the angry reply, you shouted the retort, you let the red haze descend, only to feel the bitter ash of regret in its wake. Remember that sinking sensation, the shame of losing your temper, the damage done to a relationship, the professional fallout from an impulsive outburst. That's the before. You were reacting, a puppet on the strings of your own volatile emotions. But now, envision the transformation. The same trigger arrives, perhaps a colleague unjustly criticizes your work in front of others, or a loved one makes a cutting remark during a disagreement, or an anonymous online comment venomously attacks your character. The anger still sparks. That's a natural human reaction. Yet this time, you do not immediately lunge for the emotional switch. You activate the power of the pause. That almost imperceptible beat of silence. It's a moment where you mentally step back, creating a tiny yet vast chasm between the stimulus and your response. You feel the heat, but you don't pour gasoline on it. You witness the impulse to lash out, but you do not obey it. This isn't about suppressing emotion, it's about observing it without becoming enslaved by it. You give yourself the invaluable gift of a few breaths, a few seconds, during which the initial, most destructive wave of emotion crests and begins to recede. What happens in that void? You realize you are not your anger, you are the observer of your anger. The impulse to retaliate loses its urgency, its absolute command. You gain clarity. You begin to see the situation not as a personal assault demanding immediate vengeance, but as a challenge to your inner tranquility, an opportunity to demonstrate true strength. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, when you are offended at any man's fault, immediately turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. This isn't about blaming yourself, but about shifting your focus from external provocation to internal control, empowering you to respond from a place of reason, not rage. This is the after. You are still, you are calm, and in that silence, you wield an undeniable power that your former reactive self could never have imagined. This power isn't aggressive, it is profound. It is the power to choose. You might be thinking, how do I actually do this? It sounds simple, but mastery requires deliberate practice. Let me offer you 3 concrete Stoic practices, each designed to cultivate the power of the pause in your daily life. First, practice the 4-count breath of stillness. This is for those moments when you feel the initial flicker of irritation or anger, when a situation starts to grate on you, or a person's words begin to inflame your temper. Immediately halt whatever you are doing. Close your eyes if appropriate, or simply fix your gaze on a neutral point. Inhale slowly for a count of 4. Hold your breath for a count of 4. Exhale slowly for a count of 4. Hold your breath out for a count of 4. Repeat this cycle 3 to 5 times. This isn't merely a breathing exercise. It's a physical anchor that forces your mind to disengage from the stimulus and re-engage with your own internal state. The expected inner result is a slight yet crucial decompression of tension, creating that invaluable mental space before a reactive outburst can take hold. Seneca wisely observed, "Every man is a fool or a physician in his own cause." Be your own physician. Second, implement the verbal delay command. This is for situations where an immediate verbal response feels inevitable, such as during an argument or a confrontation. When you are asked a question or challenged in a way that sparks anger, instead of launching into an immediate answer, use a small, intentional phrase that buys you time. Something as simple as, "Let me consider that for a moment," or "That's an interesting point, I need a second to process it," or even just a simple, Then, take that pause. Let the words hang in the air. This signals to the other person that you are thinking, not reacting, and it gives you a crucial window to engage your rational mind. The expected inner result is the ability to formulate a considered, constructive response rather than one fueled by unchecked emotion. Epictetus taught, "It is not events that disturb people, but their view of them." This delay allows you to choose your view. Third, engage in proactive premeditation of adversity. This exercise is done before an anger-provoking situation even arises. Each morning, take a few minutes to mentally prepare for potential frustrations. Think about the people or situations that commonly trigger your anger. Your commute, a particular colleague, a family dynamic. Envision these scenarios clearly. Then, visualize yourself applying the power of the pause. See yourself not reacting impulsively, but choosing stillness. Imagine the calm strength radiating from you in the face of irritation. How do you feel as you remain composed? What does your inner landscape look like? Marcus Aurelius himself wrote, "Begin the morning by saying to yourself, 'I shall meet with the busybody, the ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, unsocial.'" This preparation isn't pessimistic, it's realistic and empowering. The expected inner result is a pre-programmed resilience, a mental blueprint for emotional control, so that when the actual trigger appears, your practiced response of silence is already waiting. You are no longer merely a reactor, buffeted by the currents of external events and your own unexamined impulses. You are becoming something profoundly different. You are transforming into a conscious architect of your inner world, a sovereign ruler over your own mind. The unpredictable, fiery eruptions that once defined moments of stress will begin to recede, replaced by a deep, unwavering pool of calm. You will discover that true strength isn't about how loudly you can roar, but how firmly you can remain silent. The world, with its incessant noise and provocations, will cease to hold you hostage. Your relationships will deepen, your decisions will sharpen, and your days will gain an unprecedented clarity because you have mastered the very first battleground, your own reactions. This isn't merely about managing anger, it is about reclaiming your autonomy, asserting your rightful place as the master of your own spirit. You are learning to wield the king's weapon, and in doing so, you become a king of your own domain. Now, take this weapon and test its might. Integrate these practices into your life, not as fleeting experiments, but as steadfast commitments. The path to inner freedom is forged through consistent effort, each pause a powerful strike against the chains of impulse. Embrace the profound tranquility that awaits you when you choose silence as your shield and stillness as your strength. You possess the innate capacity for this transformation. Now, activate it. There are even greater depths to explore, more subtle yet equally revolutionary Stoic insights that can reshape your entire experience of reality. You are standing on the precipice of profound change, and what comes next will illuminate even more fundamental truths.